am so excited this week to have my guest on. She is a wonderful friend of mine and a spiritual sister. I would like you to meet Lucy Wylde. Hi Lucy, how's it going?
Hi. Yeah, it's going really good, thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
amazing. You've just come out of the studio, haven't you?
Well, I came out of the studio about 6 weeks ago, but yeah.
Of course, we're keeping up
Yeah.
together with all your stuff. But you've just released that single that you've been recording, right?
Yes, Ocean Song.
Oh,
Yeah,
yay.
I'm in a very open-hearted space with it. I'm feeling very excited for it to be here and for people to listen to it and yeah, just for it to be having its own journey in the world. Yeah.
I love it. We'll talk bit more about that later. Put my teeth in, Karina. So we'll talk a bit about that later. But I just sort of go through a couple of questions. I'm doing something a bit different this week, guys. I've not got any questions prepared. I'm trusting the process with Lucy, which she's taught me a lot of throughout the years, is trusting. So I thought I'd do that today and test this out. So, Lucy, you trained in music, right?
Yes, so I went to BIM in Brighton,
Yeah,
which is a music institute. I did a degree in professional musicianship, specializing in vocals.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And you can tell because your vocals are incredible. They've just gotten better and better throughout the years of me listening to you singing, and it's really beautiful. So I can't wait for everyone to
Oh.
hear um, your music in a bit. And why did you start doing music? Like, what drove you to do that?
Hmm. Honestly, I have tried every single job that I can think of that doesn't really involve a qualification.
Mm,
Um, and there's just something about like a 9 to 5 job or working in like a hotel or something like that that just does not enlighten me. It doesn't lift my spirit. And I've always, even from being in school, I loved music. You know, out of all of the subjects, whenever music was, I never missed that class. You know, and I never wanted to. And yeah, I just sorry, I just needed to do that a second and cut that bit out. um, I'll just get my words a second. Yeah, so music has always been with me throughout my whole life. Um, I It's the one place that just feels like home.
yeah,
Um, and I remember writing my first song when I was about 14 or 15 at school, and my music teachers were like, "You have a gift, you know, like you wrote this song in minutes."
yeah,
And you know, all of my teachers, even my head of year was like, "Lucy, you've got something special here," you know, and yeah, I remember having a conversation with my dad, and he asked me what I wanted to be, and I was like, I want to be a musician. I want to pursue my music career, and didn't go down too well,
oh,
but
oh,
but yeah, you know, I took that piece of information on board, and I thought, okay, well, let's try a different route, and yeah, it didn't feel right, and I always just kept coming back to the same feeling. I'm a singer, and that's what my soul's calling really feels like it is.
yeah.
So yeah.
Amazing. And how do you feel that your music writing and journey in that has evolved since you were 15?
Wow. Well, I don't write heartbreak songs so much anymore. I feel like I've kind of come over that bridge of, um, yeah, kind of stepping out of this victim mentality and being like, you broke my heart, and coming more into this space of, loving aspect and an unconditional love, and heart space, which just, yeah, fully resonates with my values and my being and what I want to express in the world, that it doesn't have to be fear. It can come back to love.
Wonderful answer. And you always have said to me, like with songwriting, because you've always been an inspiration to me ever since I heard you. And I tell you that often, so I don't need to tell you again, but you do. And you always say you let the song kind of flow through you.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a bit? What does that feel like to you? What does that mean?
Okay, so yeah, my songwriting process is in some ways changed, but it's almost like it's also always been there.
Yeah.
And I've learned to create space and intention through my writing. So I will, like for an example, a songwriting day for me will be grounding myself through exercises. Maybe that's through like yoga or meditation. And then I will go somewhere really beautiful, like into nature. And I'll take my guitar with me. Oops. And I will just ask the land or the spirits, just ask for guidance on what wants to come through. And I'll start playing a melodic sequence with my guitar, and I'll really feel into the emotion that is giving me, and the emotion that I'm feeling in that moment as well. And through that connection, through the melodic connection, the emotion that I'm feeling, and through the space that I've created, it just all seems to just sometimes flow. And something I've learnt a lot through my, I guess, my musical inspirations is, and over time through my own journey, is the more space you can create for yourself, for your creativity, the easier it is to connect to that creation, to creator, Mother Earth. Yeah, and it's been a wonderful journey.
Amazing. You always give me this feeling of relaxation in the way that you speak, in your tone of voice, in your music, and I just feel like, oh, yeah, you could just tell me a story and I'll fall asleep. So I really love that. Um, and with regards to Ocean Song, the one that you've just released, like, how did that come about and that flow through? Yeah, talk us through that.
Well, yeah, that's been a journey actually. Uh, it's been my biggest journey. So it was one February about 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Wow.
I'm trying to think. It was 2019. It would have been 2019, so it was actually 2 years ago. And myself and my partner at the time were at the beach, and he was playing flute and I was dancing with the ocean, and it was a beautiful sunny day. I think it got to about 20 degrees, and we were both like, why is it so hot in February? This is really weird. And I remember that day so clear because it was so hot. And yeah, and I had this moment where I was dancing barefoot on the sand, and then I just was looking at the ocean, and I realized that my breath was the same, had entrained with the waves of the ocean. And I was like, whoa, I just had this moment of like, wow. And within that moment, I just felt so held by all of her just magnificent embrace. And I I just felt at home in every single aspect, and you know, in that moment, just so at peace with myself and with the water and with the earth. And it was just like this moment of enlightenment, you know. And yeah, it just, I actually have a recording that I released just before the song was released, that I had on my phone, that I shared as like an introduction to the song, and that's where the lyrics came from. And yeah, and it was so simple, you know. And I think that's something really amazing about this song, is that it has such a simplistic and holding within it, but it's also so complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from that I wrote the lyrics, and then I didn't actually write the song until about 6 months later. And yeah, I just had this aha moment, and it was like, I'm ready to be born now. And I had to go through quite a difficult, very traumatic situation to actually get to that point of this song being born. And it was just before I started my transformational breath training. And the way that this song has evolved is that it was like an initiation song to transformational breath as well. Yeah, so it has so much complexity in it, that I could talk about it for hours, you know.
Yeah. And I had the pleasure of obviously listening to it just before we did this interview, and just, there were so many elements, and I can't wait for everyone to hear it in its full entirety. I know you're going to play it for us as well, which is a treat. So that's really lovely. Before you do though, I was just going to say, with that songwriting, there's an air of vulnerability that you've allowed yourself to go into, to allow that to then flow through, right?
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Would you say that's really important in songwriting?
Yes. Yeah. For me and the music that I want to write, yes.
Yes.
You know, for me, I do wear my heart on my sleeve when it comes to songwriting. And I'm not the kind of musician that wants to write hit songs or songs that I guess for mainstream, you know, like Radio 1 or whatever. But what I want to do is that I want to write songs that will touch people in a way that makes them remember what it's like to be held and to be heard, and to really feel that heart connection with themselves, and to remember what real love feels like.
Oh, that explanation was just like, warmed my heart just hearing you talk about it. And you do a lot of healing through music as well, and you talked about transformational breath there as well. And I really feel like this song is a real healing song. Like I said to you, like, it just makes me lose myself, and that's brilliant. That is really lovely. So can we hear it?
Yes, I can play it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so Lucy's going to play us some songs now, which is amazing. So if you want to get yourself ready, Lucy,
Great.
we'll jump back in a minute.
I am the water, the water is me. She held me in her waters. She held me in her Today I danced with the water. I was reminded that I am the ocean, just as the ocean is me. Today I sang to the water. I was reminded that I am the ocean, just as the ocean is me. Just as the ocean, it is me. Each breath we breathe in harmony. Each breath we breathe She held me in her waters. She held me in her waters. She held me in her waters. She held me in her waters.
amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I really love your music. I don't know about everyone else out there, but I just kind of like float off into like this little dream world of my own, like a meditation.
Hmm.
It is very meditative.
Hmm.
Yeah. Everyone out there, just take a nice deep breath in. Ah, a healing episode this is. So where can everyone get Ocean Song? Tell us.
So it's available on all platforms. So Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, whichever one you listen to music through. And if you'd like to support the song, you're welcome to go and download it from Bandcamp. And then obviously I would then get money or funding from you to be able to carry on recording my music, because the world of Spotify and streaming is brilliant, but there's a big debate going on right now about how little musicians actually get for streaming, which is it's not great. So yeah.
But at least you've got Bandcamp, which is great. So everyone go check out Lucy's Bandcamp. I'll put all the links in the description so everyone can go follow Lucy. Are you on all the social medias as well, aren't you?
Yes, I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm under Lucy Wylde Music.
Amazing. And yeah, they'll be down below. So go follow. Go follow. Excuse me. So it's been wonderful having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming on. And I would just like to ask you one last question. This is a weekly thing. So if you could give the people out there watching just one piece of advice, what would it be?
Say yes to life, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Can you give us an example of that, the time that you did that and it made you feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, like starting my music journey. I remember being on the train to Bristol, absolutely bricking myself, going, I have no idea how this is going to go. I don't even know if I'm going to, like enjoy this or anything, like totally stepping into the unknown of this journey. And yeah, just riddled in fear and uncertainty and not knowing. And I just kind of really felt into my being and realized that I needed to just say yes and give myself permission to say yes to what I wanted and what I believed in. And I just fell in love. I fell in love with my life. I fell in love with that process, and I haven't looked back. So yeah.
Oh well, everyone, if Lucy can do it, say yes. I love that advice. Thank you so much for coming onto the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful.
Of course. Mwah. I'll speak to you soon. I'll pop you off, but thank you again for coming on. Wow, isn't Lucy amazing? Well, I feel like this has been a bit of a healing session. I hope you've all enjoyed listening from Lucy. Please go and check out Ocean Song and her Bandcamp. Go follow her, go show her loads of love on all the social medias. Yeah, she's a very loving friend of mine. Trying to find the words, trying to trust that I find the words, as Lucy's taught me. So I have a little quote for you which actually goes well with what Lucy just said about saying yes. So this says that you are the artist of your life. Don't give the paintbrush to anyone else. Quite like it. So it's like you are in control of that. So if you're doing what you want to do. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise, basically. I love that. One last breath to see us out. Thank you so much again for joining. Have a wonderful week and see you next time. Big love.